The Senate as an impeachment court is tasked to hear the case against Vice President Sara Duterte, but the SC has already struck it down, and it seems that a number of senators aren't entirely on the same page. Hannity has the details.
At least 10 senators say they will follow or respect the Supreme Court ruling, whether firmly or cautiously. But 2 senators openly call for the Senate to move forward with the impeachment trial, even if it means defying the High Court. In its unanimous ruling, the SC said the impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte violated the one-year bar rule and the right to due process. The case stemmed from 4 impeachment complaints against the VP. 3 were filed by private individuals and organizations in December 2024, while the 4th was a House-initiated resolution filed on February 5 this year, the same day it was transmitted to the Senate. The court clarified that the first 3, despite not being formally voted on, were still initiated and therefore triggered the one-year bar rule when they were archived on February 5. This means no new impeachment complaint against Duterte can be filed until February 6, 2026. Former Supreme Court Justice Adolfo Ascuna said in an on-point interview on Bilyonaryo News Channel that he agrees to the decision.
Because they were supposed to be referred to a committee within 10 days. That is mandatory. The Constitution says shall be referred to a committee in 10 session days. Therefore, the non-deliberate, non-referral to a committee does not stop it from being considered initiated.
Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada said the Senate should abide by the ruling when session opens. He adds, holding public officials accountable must be grounded in legality and due process. He is the eldest son of impeached former President Joseph Estrada. Senator Mig Zubiri shares the same sentiment and warns that pushing through with the trial could trigger a constitutional crisis. Defying the ruling would undermine judicial review and destabilize government. And even if there are questions about how the court interpreted the impeachment, Senator Ping Lacson also said the Senate must comply with the decision. Other senators took a neutral or cautious stance, not defying the court but not ruling out further action either. Senator Erwin Tulfo said he respects the court's ruling, but insists the Senate has the sole power to try impeachment cases. The matter will be discussed when session resumes next week. Meanwhile, Senator Tito Soto is getting legal advice on whether the Senate may still decide independently, but acknowledged that the Supreme Court is now asserting its role even in political questions. As a veteran lawmaker, he recalls how the High Court did not touch any, but this time, this is a complete climate change, exactly on the eve of the opening of the 20th Congress. Senator Kiko Pangilinan said it looks like the SC has sidelined the presumption of regularity in congressional actions, but agreed that the ruling should be respected for now. Senator Joel Villanueva meanwhile reminded that the Senate remains committed to following the Constitution and proper procedure. But 2 senators have made it clear they want the trial to proceed. The ruling is disappointing for known opposition Senator Risa Ontiveros. She says the Supreme Court misread its own precedents and set up unnecessary barriers to impeachment, and that the decision could make it harder to hold top officials accountable. Senator Bam Aquino is calling for a caucus to decide whether the chamber will stand its ground. He's firm that the Senate has a constitutional duty to push through.
Naniniwala ako na dapat matuloy yung impeachment trial. Yung mandato, tungkulin at kapangyarihan na nakasaad sa saligang batas ay nasa Senado at walang iba. Handa na kaming dinggin ang lahat ng ebidensya para makapagdesisyon ng patas bilang mga hukom, kaya dapat ituloy na yung impeachment trial.
Others are ready to move on. Presidential sister and Senator Amy Marcos says, awat muna sa politika, and the Senate should respect the court's ruling and shift focus to public service. Senator Win Gatchalian said the court has spoken and he accepts its final say. And finally, Senator Bato de la Rosa, who earlier moved to dismiss the complaint, said the ruling confirms what he believed from the start. He credits his stance and the court's decision to divine intervention. The lines are clear. 10 senators have said they will follow or respect the SC, at least for now. And with the opening of the 20th Congress next week, the Senate must decide whether to follow the court or assert its constitutional role. Hannah Tia, Bilyonaryo News Channel.